All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Peak to Middle School. My name is Narwhal.
My name is Kyle.
Now, Kyle, you have this new hoodie on.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening to just the audio version, you can't see, but Kyle's wearing a new hoodie.
I've had it for a while. I just haven't worn it.
I've never seen it. And right before we started recording, Kyle was talking about how his strings are too long.
They're really long. They're like almost to my belly button.
Now, I could see how that could be a little frustrating if they're too long, but I was saying, like, it would be better if you pulled one so it's uneven, so that one is substantially longer than the other because it's a style, and he doesn't think that that's a style.
It might be a style. I just don't think it's a cool style. Why is that cool? I've never noticed you do that.
Any like rap video, music video, when the artist is wearing a hoodie, they're never gonna be perfectly symmetrical.
I think it's cooler when it's perfectly symmetrical.
No, why? It's
it's a string. Why does it matter?
Whoa, take it easy, man. I'm just saying, there's like beauty in art that is like messy, kind of like it.
And purposely messy.
Yes, purposely messy. That's like there's a lot of.
It's like cutting holes in your jeans.
Kind of.
I'm not a ripped jeans guy. I'm not a long string guy.
But I guess if I was to get a new tattoo and it was like words, I've said this before to like my cousin who's helped me design tattoos.
You'd want it to be misspelled.
No, I don't want it to be misspelled, but I want it to be like messy handwriting. So I don't want it to be like Times New Roman. That's not cool, I
mean, Times New Roman, that wouldn't be cool anyways.
I know, but my point is, I think
I could write it for you.
I know. I think that would look cooler than like a typed out font.
Oh, what word would you get tattooed?
Just one word.
My name?
No.
If I wrote my name, would you? No. My autograph? If I signed your body,
I would. Stop. I think what would be funny is if I got like a fake full contract written out somewhere, and then like it's signed by you at the bottom.
What would the contract be?
I don't know, just like I hereby declare that
this body belongs to Kyle Stafford.
Yeah, maybe I could write my will on my body, so if I die,
that's a lot. That's big. It's like
my
a script.
whole back. It's like,
that would hurt.
Like a Bible verse, but just all over my back is my will.
Some people have like paragraphs tattooed on them. That probably takes so long.
I know. And what if, like, I know that if you want to do that, you're obviously going to go to an experienced tattoo artist, but
they could misspell one word.
They could everybody misspells.
Yeah.
When I'm typing, I'm pretty good at typing, but I'll misspell a few things here and there. And there's just,
I guess you got to be really sure and like double check it. But sometimes you could maybe just get in a zone if you're a tattoo artist and put a T when it should have been like a B.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe what they do for those big ones is they like stencil it or something where they
they do. That's how they did ours.
Yeah, but I mean, can they do that for a whole huge one?
I don't know. Probably. I think they do that for all tattoos, no?
No, there's definitely freehand tattoos. There's a lot of freehand tattoos.
Could I freehand tattoo? That would be fun.
I think it would be cool to do something like that. I know there's some people that are big into tattoos that have this, like, I've heard podcasts and interviews with people that say that they have like certain sections on their body that are dedicated to like each one of their friends gets to just make a tattoo of whatever they want on their body.
What?
And like each person gets a little box. So within that box,
you can do whatever.
It's free reign.
Oh.
I think that'd be pretty cool. But then,
then
all my friends would just draw like a dick or balls.
Yeah, you have a lot of like dicks or probably.
Which I don't really want.
I could draw like a cat.
Yeah, like if it was something actually funny.
Yeah, I draw a really good cat.
You draw your cat. Shim draws a guy on steroids or like I don't know something like that. I think that'd be funny and unique.
Yeah, I mean,
how
did we get here from strings?
I don't know.
But you're like when you wear your long socks, you always scrunch them down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Some people pull them up way too high. That's bad. But then you like basically just scrunch them down. So why not just wear short socks?
Yeah, I don't like when I pull them all the way up because then they're too high.
Yeah. You don't have to pull them all the way up. There's a middle range. You have them like basically scrunched down.
I think it looks cooler. I don't know. Like everything that I base on my style when I'm wearing athletic clothes, I base them on like athletes that I like or like rappers that I like.
So you can dress like Russell Westbrook and James Harden?
I don't like Russell Westbrook.
Okay, James Harden. You're gonna dress like James Harden?
Now, I don't know. I guess I'd have to look up how he does his socks.
Yeah, he wears like capris, so.
Yeah, but like if I don't know. I just think that I've seen in the past when I built the foundation of my style.
Okay.
I had seen videos and photos of people that had their socks normal, where they're not pulled super tight, but they're just sitting normal length on your calf.
Yeah.
The 3/4 Nike socks.
That's what I do. Well, I don't really wear long socks anymore, but that's what I would do.
And I just thought, like, I don't know. I think it makes your calf look cooler if they're lower. And like the intentional scrunches of the socks is a must, in my opinion.
Okay. I think your calf looks cooler if you have low socks, because then you get the full calf experience.
Disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I like the scrunch, and I've done it for so many years that it feels wrong if I don't do that, you know?
Okay.
Like, you've worn briefs your whole life that if you were to go wear tighty whities, it's just not right. It's not that they're necessarily, actually, those are kind of wrong, but
those are wrong in a lot of ways. But like going back to boxers, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like that's my sock game.
Okay.
But
I respect it.
Yeah. All right. So going on from roasting your style, you told me that you had something you wanted to tell me about an Uber driver.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yesterday I had a job. Yesterday? Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday I had a job interview downtown Seattle. And
downtown. Kyle's gonna be working downtown.
Well, if I get hired.
Yeah.
So I was kind of stressing out because it's hard to get downtown in like the middle of the day, and there's no parking. You have to pay for parking. So I was gonna take the bus, and I haven't taken the buses around Seattle. Like I've taken the bus before, obviously, but not the bus routes in Seattle. They're kind of confusing. So my plan was I was gonna take a bus all the way down downtown, but the bus, of course, didn't come on time, and I think it came way early because I saw two of the buses that I was supposed to take drive past me as I was walking to the stop, but I was there 15 minutes early, and then I wait for an extra 10 minutes past when it was supposed to come, and it didn't show up. So I'm like freaking out.
Damn, you almost were late to your interview.
I know. I have to be there.
Kyle, if you're not early, you're late.
I agree. That's why I was freaking out.
So you were late. You should have got there.
I didn't end
30
up.
minutes
Hey, listen,
early.
I didn't end up being late. Well,
wait.
Why is this table wet?
Is the table wet?
Something is.
I'm not wet.
Something wet.
There is nothing wet on me.
Something was wet that I touched my finger. Probably your spit.
There's no way you just felt a puddle of spit.
Something was
it's
wet.
Not that
Something
wet.
was wet. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I showed up 15 minutes early to the bus, but apparently 15 minutes early is late to the bus in Seattle.
You gotta be 25 minutes early, I guess.
Right. I should have just lived outside. I should have just camped out and waited for the bus. So yeah, I'm kind of freaking out, and I need to get there on time. So I call an Uber, and luckily I get one like right away. And right away I see my Uber driver has like 4.98 stars. So I'm like, oh, she's probably a good driver. And then when I got in the car, the first thing obviously is, oh, how's your day going? Oh, good. How about you? Blah, blah, blah. And then it was kind of silent for like 5 seconds. And usually that's it. Usually after that little first exchange, it's just silent the whole time, which I kind of appreciate. Like usually, especially if I'm kind of nervous for a job interview, I don't want to be having this like dumb conversation like, oh, the weather's nice,
Yeah.
Like I kind of just want to sit and like be in my little zone.
It's funny because it depends on your personality, but I'm with you on that. But it other people would hate stuff like that. Like my sister has said that she
can't sit in silence.
She cannot sit in silence for more than like 10 seconds. So even if she's nervous or freaking out or whatever, she needs to be like having some form of conversation with this guy.
I always value silence. Like there's something good about silence and just kind of sitting and being in your own space.
Yeah. And like if I was an Uber driver, I truly would not care. If you want to talk to me, we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to say a single goddamn word the whole 30-minute ride, that's cool
fine.
too.
Yeah. Anyway, so this lady, after we give our little first, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. How about you? It's like a 5-second pause. And then she goes, okay, well, now that we said that, how are you really doing?
Oh.
And I was like, whoa.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And I was like, well, to be honest, I'm kind of stressed out right now because I just missed my bus and I have to be downtown for this job interview in like 30 minutes. And I'm kind of stressed out about it. And she goes, well, I think you were put into my car for a reason and I'm going to get you there on time. And like, you're lucky that you're with me right now. And I was like, okay, I like that.
Dude, who is this lady?
Dude, she was amazing.
What was her name? Do you remember?
Shit, Marie or something. I have her card. She gave me her card. I'll get to that later.
Damn.
She was awesome. So then we're just kind of driving, and she starts talking about like, where or why are you interviewing for a job and blah, blah, blah. Like, where are you at in life? And I was explaining, like, I'm out of school right now. I'm like not really sure what I want to do. I'm trying to figure it out. But in the meantime, I'm trying to get this job. And I was talking about like, I might want to be a firefighter, but whatever. I was basically just explaining that I was not really going the traditional route.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we were just talking about kind of life like that.
Yeah.
And how it's a lot of people aren't going the traditional route. And it was just like this super authentic conversation.
Yeah.
And then she eventually started talking about how she reads people's like energies. Like she's one of those like energy people.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Like mystical energy, or more
Kinda
just like she's just good at reading people.
Yeah, good at reading people. But well, I don't know, because she said something about alchemists or something.
Okay.
I don't know. But then she was also talking about how she's a writer, and this was near the end of the trip. She was talking about, she kind of gave me some of her life story about how she had dated some like homicide guy, and it was like super interesting. And she was telling me some stories.
Homicide
about it.
guy, like a murderer.
Like like a detective, homicide detective. I said that really bad.
She dated some homicide guy. I'm thinking like,
no.
Ted Bundy or something.
Well, that would have been an interesting story.
Yeah.
No, she's talking about how she dated a homicide detective, and whatever. And she was just telling me different stories about her life, and we were just sharing some information and whatever.
Yeah.
And then she eventually gets to this part where she's talking about this book that she's writing, and how she's writing a book about, she's done over like thousands of Uber drives, and she's writing a book about like different people in her Ubers. And she had like a play on words. It was like Uber, but it was like a play on words of the name. And it was, I forget what it was exactly.
Okay.
But, and she was explaining like.
She's not done yet.
What?
She's not done with the book yet?
I think she's
currently writing it?
I think she's writing it, or she's like finalizing it.
Okay.
And basically I think she just talks about different people that she meets.
Damn.
Because you're just with her for like about 30 minutes, and then you just probably never see her again.
Yeah, and she's done that with like thousands of people probably.
Yeah, and she was telling me about like her current boyfriend, and how the way she explained it, she was like I'm a alchemist writer or something like that, which is like a kind of an energy type of person, writer or something. And she said whenever she says that, it was some weird title. She's like, whenever I say that title to people, no one has any idea what that means. And so this random guy in a Starbucks comes up to her and asks her what she's doing, and she's like, oh, I'm this weird type of writer. And he goes, me too. And then she was like, wow, it was like the universe aligning. And I feel like, you were stressed out for this interview, and you're being brought into this situation, into me with this car, and we're having this conversation. Like, it changed my whole like outlook of my day. Like my day started off so shitty, just trying to be stressed out for my job interview, and then like that lady made my whole day.
Wow.
And I told her that, and she gave me her card, and she was telling me, like I haven't like looked at her information or anything, but she was talking about like she does like podcasts or whatever about like energy and kind of shit like that.
Damn.
So
you tell her about Peak to Middle School?
I didn't know. I should have.
We got to get her on the show, dude.
I don't think, she's probably like 40s, 50s-year-old woman.
Dude,
probably
but
not
we need that energy on the show.
Right. She gave off some great vibes.
I feel like she could be good on the show.
She gave me a pep talk.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's really
shout out
cool.
to that lady. I'll look at her information later and find her, but
yeah. Did she seem like, how do I say this without sounding rude? Did she seem like
a hippie kind of person?
Well, did she seem like the person who actually is like genuinely wants to be a writer, or is it like that person who's like that kid in high school who says he's going to be like a famous movie director, but like never actually does shit, and he just like says he's going to be a director?
No, she
she seemed like she actually can
Yeah,
write.
I got super good vibes from her.
Okay.
And I could tell she actually like cared about my situation and whatever. She kept talking about like energy and like reading people's kind of vibes or whatever.
Wait, so I had a question. When she was talking about Alchemist, did she
that part kind of flew over my head?
I know, and maybe because there's a very famous book called The Alchemist.
It could be something like that.
Like a really famous book, and it was the first. When I got to college, I had never actually read any book by choice, like outside of a school book, and I'd heard from that book about that book all the time from a bunch of different interviews. So that was the first book that I read, like for fun, and that book like changed my life. And I think maybe she's referring to like
it could be something in that kind of
something about that book, because it's been so long since I read that book. But from what I remember, like the main character, they never named the character the whole book, I think they call him like the boy or something, and it's supposed to be like you, like you're reading it as you're reading about this kid or whatever, but it's supposed to be like it's you, the reader. Like you can apply this book to your life, and it's supposed to be whoever you are reading it. Like think of this as you, and it's like,
damn,
I don't know.
That's kind of trippy.
Yeah, so it's a really good book, and
that sounds kind of like something that would be.
It definitely is about like energy and like your dreams and like going and after. If you go after it, like it'll come to you and all this stuff.
Yeah. And she was just talking about how different people are placed into your life, which I totally believe that different people are placed in your life at different times to provide you with some sort of like lesson or service or whatever. And it was super weird. Like the first thing she was talking about was like, you were placed in this car for a reason. And at first I was like, all right,
like, okay.
But then the more we talked, I was like, dang, this lady's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You said at the beginning that you appreciate like a silent Uber ride, but would you say that at the end, did you appreciate that type of ride more than a silent one?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I appreciate only a silent ride, but I just would rather be silent than just have this dumb conversation that means nothing to either of us.
A bunch of small talk.
Yeah. But like that was like a real conversation that we were having. We talked the whole way.
Yeah. Well, honestly, when I was working last year, like in LA and Dallas and stuff, a lot of the times, like I lived by myself. I didn't have that many friends. And so a lot of times I would just be like by myself, Ubering places or whatever. And some of the most awesome, craziest, coolest life stories I've ever heard have been from Uber drivers.
Yeah.
Because like some of these people have moved from like different continents by themselves and like tried to make a career for themselves and just been through so much shit. Ubers. Yeah, and it's cool. And I don't know, I think that whole book idea is really cool because Uber drivers who have done it for a lot of years probably have such a vast knowledge of like a little bit of people. Or wait, that sounded really bad, but like they know a little bit about a bunch of strangers,
a bunch of different people,
you know.
Yeah. And a lot of people are open. Like I would find it easier to open up in an Uber because I know I'm not going to see this person again.
Yeah.
And I can talk about whatever.
Yeah. And in a way that almost makes the conversations better than someone you've known for a while because you might not open up the same way.
Or somebody that you might see further on down the line that you think, oh, this guy might judge me because I said this to him.
Yeah.
But one of the things she said was, I guess we were somehow just talking about different people she's had in Ubers, and she said that she had this guy that was this kind of like one of the big people with Facebook, and he was kind of young, I think, and kind of stressed out. And she said within like 30 seconds, he was sobbing in the car. Dude. After talking with her.
Yeah, bro.
Like she's the type of person that can like bring emotions out of you.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Oh my God. I was in an Uber with this guy, and we got stuck in like rush hour, and he was driving me from the airport back to where I was living at the time, and so we got stuck in rush hour. So I was with this guy for like an hour or maybe longer. And so we were small talk at the beginning, and eventually I was asking him about like the most interesting people he's driven around or the craziest thing that have happened in his Ubers. And he told me that he had a guy that when he first got in, this guest that he had, the guy didn't want to talk, and he told him he didn't really want to talk. And the driver's like, okay, whatever. So they're going. And then the guy like sort of starts asking the driver a couple of questions, just like small talk or whatever. And eventually it gets to the point where it's clear to the driver that this guy needs to get something off his chest, or like really like needs to talk to somebody about something. And eventually it gets to the point where this guy starts bawling.
Oh my God.
And apparently this guy said he had like been divorced and his daughter hates him and all this stuff. And the guy said that he was Ubering to the place that he was going to kill himself. And he told the driver, like, where you're dropping me off, like I'm planning to kill myself. And the Uber driver asked this guy, like, can we just pull over? I'll talk to you just all day. Like, let's just talk. I don't want you to do this. Damn, and he said they talked for 6 hours in this guy's car, just on like the side of the road. He was just sobbing. And then he took the guy like back home or whatever. Isn't that
That's
fucking nuts?
dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, and he said that after that he never talked to that guy again, and
Wow.
like, yeah, but
That's
he's
just like the power of people.
yeah, and just like being genuinely nice,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, I love stuff like that. I've really tried in the last few years to engage with strangers more.
It's hard to do. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary, especially in 2019. I feel like it's hard to do it in the right way where people don't think you're creepy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Uber's a perfect situation now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're just stuck in this confined space, and it's either sit in silence or like have a conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not someone that starts a conversation most of the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I usually just sit there.
Yeah. But I feel like you're good at, if someone starts the conversation with you, you'll be good at carrying it. Like you could keep it going.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like if someone asks you a question, I don't think you'd be the type of person to just say like one word and
like
then
a one-word answer.
stop talking.
Well, yeah, that, but I also would feel bad giving a one-word answer. Unless I was just in a really bad mood and I just didn't want to talk, then I would probably just give off those vibes.
Yeah. One time I fell asleep in an Uber and it was scary because I told myself like, don't fall asleep because this is a stranger driving you.
Right.
And I fell asleep and then I woke up to him like tapping me on the shoulder like, hey man, we're here. I was like, oh dude, thank you, bro.
Damn, that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Also, so Kyle and I are doing this challenge where we each have to finish a book by the end of the year of the other person's choosing.
Mm-hmm.
So you gave me a book that I haven't started yet. So I'll talk about it when I actually read it. But then the book I gave you was Other People's Lives.
Yeah, The Art of Living Other People's Lives.
Did you like it? Because the book that you're describing from that lady that she's working on sounds kind of similar to what that book is about.
I guess kind of. I think hers is more kind of spiritually. I mean, I don't know exactly, but from what it sounded like, it sounded more deep than this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, this book was kind of about this guy. He's got a podcast we both listen to. But
his name's Greg Dybeck.
Yeah.
Right.
And he wrote about a bunch of different situations of like people he's encountered in his life and kind of like lessons he's learned along the way. It was just a bunch of different essays. It was really interesting. But he had like an Uber chapter where he was talking about all the different people he's talked to in Uber. Is about a guy who like cheated on his wife and he was like talking him through it or whatever. And then, so I guess that is kind of similar, but it was really interesting, like hearing his, I guess, takeaways from the different people that he's like encountered in his life.
Yeah. When you meet a famous person or someone that you look up to or someone that you've seen on like the internet or TV or movies or whatever, like if you see them, you're going to be kind of in shock because it's like this famous person and you admire them and maybe they give you some advice or something that you take with you or whatever. And like, or for example, I used to love Kevin Garnett and I would watch like these YouTube videos, like these motivational stuff of like Kevin Garnett, like clips from interviews and clips from games. And like, it was motivating for me. But at the same time, I've learned that learning stuff from just like normal people is way more powerful to me than hearing something from someone famous. Not that like the famous person isn't saying something insightful, but there's something really cool about hearing something that just an average person has been through. Mm-hmm. Like someone who hasn't made it and they've been struggling their whole life, but like
things are finally coming together.
Yeah, things are coming together, or they stuck with it, or like these people in their life died or left them or whatever. And it's just like the fact that you could make it through that and still be like, okay, is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And this is kind of related, but one of the things that she said that like stuck with me was she said like, think about your life and think about everything that's happened. And then think about this moment, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be and with who you're supposed to be in this moment in time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy to even think about. Because, like, at first, when I had first stepped in, I was like, that would not have impacted me at all. I'm like, all right, lady, whatever. But after this was midway through a conversation of understanding who this lady is and understanding that she's a good person.
Yeah.
And that she's very interesting. And then I guess it, like, made me realize that maybe the bus came early so I could end up in her car and have this conversation with her that made my whole day better and made my job interview go super well and like made my whole day amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting that you get placed in these different situations with different people that like impact your life. Like this lady, like seriously changed things for me. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I truly, truly believe that every person you meet in your life, you met for a reason.
I agree.
And whether or not you realize that yet, it's like, it's just up to you and time until it like unfolds. And I think even people that you don't like you probably met them for a reason because you learned something about yourself or about people. Kind of relating to what she told you, I also think that like, I don't know if this is the right way to word it, but I've always thought that there's not necessarily like a wrong path to take in life. Obviously, you don't want to like become a drug addict or like be homeless. Like obviously that's not an ideal path to take, but like whatever decision you make, you're going to be in the here and now no matter what. Like you're going to be where you are no matter what decision you make. So if I decide to take this job versus that other job, I'm still going to be...
And you're still going to be you.
Yeah, I'm still going to be me.
Either way, you still have to live with yourself with whatever decision you make.
Yeah, and it's like you can't dread on the idea of like, oh, what if I had done this other decision? What if I had stayed in school? Because it's like, you didn't.
You didn't, so here you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's crazy. Just you have to try to live in the present and not dwell on the past, not dwell on the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read this book called The Power of Now, which it's a great book. It's like really just like a dense read. It's one of those books where you'll read 10 pages and be like, all right, I got to like take a break because I had to focus really hard.
That's how I am with most books. 10 pages, I'm like, all right. Oof.
Yeah, but that book really did change my life. And I did an audio book because I've never been very good at reading, so I knew that this type of book would take me a long time. So I did an audio book, and anytime I would go on like any sort of hour to 2 hour drive, I would just read it or listen to it in chunks. And it really did change my whole perspective on everything, because it was like you're always I've said it before, but like you're always living in the now. Like you're not living in the past, you're not living in the future. And it kind of just like, that's the general idea, but it goes more in depth, and it really changed the way I viewed everything and like helped me stop stressing out about things in the future because they're not here yet. Yeah, so
that's true.
That lady, I want to meet that lady.
I know.
She seems cool.
She was awesome.
You said she was probably like what, 30s or 40s?
Yeah, probably 40s. I don't know.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Change of pace here. I saw something that The Ringer posted. They're like a podcast network. They tweeted this because it was Elf's like 16th anniversary or something. Okay. And they were saying rank the best Will Ferrell movies. And there's some good movies. This is like a tough list to rank.
Yeah. Have you seen all of them or most of them?
Let's say like this is his top 8, and I'm gonna add a couple in here. There's Talladega Nights, Anchorman, The Other Guys, Elf, Old School, Step Brothers, Blades of Glory, Kicking and Screaming. Those are all bangers.
Dude, he's a legend.
I would add in Semi-Pro, Get Hard.
What about like
Inkman?
Isn't he in Tropic Thunder? Or no, is that not?
I don't know. That's not him. That's like Ben Stiller's in that. I mean, he might be in it, but he's not like a main character, I don't think. He's in dude, he's in so many movies.
Wait, what's the basketball movie?
Semi-Pro.
Oh, okay, yeah. Damn. All right. What you rank yours?
I would go Step Brothers. Oh man, probably Step Brothers. Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
Anchorman. Kicking and Screaming. Elf. The Other Guys. No. Old School, Elf, The Other Guys, Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights is your 8?
Yeah. I'm not a big Talladega Nights guy. Like, I think it's funny, but...
All right. Could I see it?
Yeah.
I'll rank them. I just... I need to, like, see a visual. Step Brothers.
Yeah.
You have to.
If Step Brothers isn't your number one, what are you doing?
Yeah. Step Brothers, Anchorman, Elf, Blades of Glory, The Other Guys, Talladega Nights, Kicking and Screaming, Old School.
Have you seen Old School?
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, they're all legendary.
I know they're all so good.
I feel like when it comes to Will Ferrell movies, I feel like the more I can quote from the movie, the more I probably enjoyed it.
Exactly.
So
Like I can quote a lot from Blades of Glory, Kicking and Screaming, and Step Brothers, and Anchorman.
basically
that's my top 4. And,
Yeah.
and Elf.
Yeah.
But I've also just seen Elf so many times that it's like,
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of not the same because you've seen it so many times, but in a way, it also makes it better because if you can basically quote a whole movie,
yeah. But it's
it's
also
pretty
not
cool.
it's not as crude humor as some of the other ones, and I like those movies.
yeah, Elf is a lot more wholesome and
Right.
family based. Okay, well, I got something I got a few things I gotta say.
Oh.
So one thing that I gotta say, otherwise my dad would get really mad at me. I just gotta clear the air here. The rat story that I told last episode at the end, or I think near the end,
If you haven't heard it, listen to it.
it's not entirely true.
Oh.
Okay, my family is not as psycho as we thought when we recorded it. So
He still murdered a rat with a broom.
yes,
Or
so
with a
my
broom.
dad still did kill this rat with a broom. The rat was like dazed or poisoned or something. He put it out of its misery.
Did
Then
a good deed.
the place where some confusion came in was apparently my family did in fact put garbage in the freezer.
Still
But-
weird.
But it's because so the garbage truck had came the day before they left, and then they had some leftover garbage, and they didn't want to just leave it in the garbage cans in the house for like
Why didn't they just put the cans out? Oh, I guess then they would just leave the cans out.
yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
stolen.
So
All
they
right.
didn't want like to just leave them there for the next week. So there's just like a little bit of garbage that they didn't want to leave because it would make the house smell bad. So they put it in like 4 garbage bags, tied it up, put it in the freezer so it wouldn't start to make the whole house smell. Now, I was under the impression that the rat was kind of just thrown in there with the other garbage, but it was not. Apparently the rat was like the day before.
So the rat's like in the dump now.
The rat is somewhere in the dump, yes.
Ratting it up
So-
in the dump.
So,
Not as cool of a story, but still strange they put garbage in your freezer.
yes, I've never heard of that until now. But hopefully when Anthony listens to this episode, he won't think that my family is a complete psycho. So, all right, well, moving on to another thing that was really wholesome that happened to me.
Oh.
This is just a very wholesome episode.
Wow.
So you were talking about how you had a Uber ride that just changed your day, just made your day better. Well, I had a phone call with a random bank lady that just made me so happy.
Wow. It's
We-
hard to be happy with a bank lady.
It is. And it's probably hard for the bank lady to be happy. So we've talked about it before many times how we both like these situations of mutual respect where you don't know this person,
Sure.
but you just can tell that you both respect each other. So I had to call this lady because my credit card got hacked. I'm still dealing with a bunch of bullshit about that. But I could tell that when she answered the phone, like we've talked about how you can tell by their voice on how old they are. And she had to have been like 31 or younger.
Okay. She's young.
Yeah, and she first of all, she answers and she goes, "Hello, who do I have the pleasure of speaking to today?" I'm like, what?
That's so scripted, though.
You have the pleasure of speaking to me. Like I felt very.
You should have responded to that. Say your pleasure is wow.
Your pleasure is.
Your pleasure. You get the pleasure of speaking with me. There we go.
Yeah. So I told her, I'm like, "Oh, my name's John." She's like, "Oh, well, hi, John. How you doing today?" It was very wholesome at the beginning. So I talked to her. She was very helpful. Some bank people are just any
Rude.
people on the phone. They're either rude or you ask them a question and they just give you this really complicated answer that doesn't help you at all. Like, just, you know what I want to know. So why don't you just tell me the basics as opposed to giving me some complex explanation that doesn't help me?
It's true.
So this lady was just very straight to the point. And I could tell about halfway through, anytime I would respond to her, she would be like, kind of say thank you, or like, she would say things that was like, kind of thank you for being understanding and not being an asshole on the phone type of thing. So I could tell that this lady was
She
probably,
appreciated that you were being nice.
yeah, she was probably dealing with like, 62-year-old
God,
men,
dude, they're
white men
So mean.
that are just like overweight and just, they're really rude,
Yep.
And I don't know. I just think that for this lady in particular, and probably a lot of people that work at banks or any sort of call centers for any businesses,
A lot of rude people.
there's a lot of rude people they got to deal with. And I think they really appreciate when there's the occasional nice person.
Sure.
Yeah. And so then I don't know. it was just the way she said it. But when we were done and I was like, oh, well, thanks for your help. I really appreciate it. And she goes, you know what, John? Thank you. I appreciate you.
Whoa.
And I was like,
you're on top of the world.
dude, it was like the best feeling ever.
The young bank lady appreciates you.
Yeah. Like, I kind of wanted to meet her.
You're like, hey, what's your phone number?
What are you doing after work today? Because I live close by. Like,
Unless she was at some call center.
yeah, but
I'm
I looked up the local branch phone number.
Oh.
So she's probably local.
Oh.
But-
She's around here. Bank lady, if you're listening.
If you're like,
You had the pleasure of speaking with John.
if you're like if you're 31 or younger,
And spoke to John.
then hit me up. Because I feel like 10 years is kind of is like definitely the maximum for this age. Like if you're 21 and
Wait,
you're
what?
dating.
So you're going to date a 31-year-old?
No, I'm just saying like, I mean, I'm saying if they were 32 or older, it would be mega weird. But if they were 31 or younger, it's just a little less weird.
I don't know, man. All of our friends would give you so much shit if you date a 30-year-old.
Dude, this guy that I know from college, for like a year, he dated a 30-year-old and he was 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point in your life, I've changed every year. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to be the person that I am when I'm 31.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't see how that could ever work.
And then when you're 31, that person is like 41.
Right. And they're just done.
Yeah. Yeah.
My life's going to be done when I'm 41. Not like I'm going to be dead, but it's just like, 41.
Yeah.
You know, what's good from here?
At what age do you think you'll feel like you
Giving
have
up.
no desire to achieve more goals or like do new things?
83.
Really?
No, I don't know.
I feel like once I'm 60, I'm going to be like,
Mail it in.
just like, I just want to chill the rest of my life.
I would hopefully be retired in my 60s.
Yeah.
But I need a job first, so.
Oh, what was I going to say? I don't remember.
40-year-olds?
I don't
40-year-old
know.
virgin?
It's gone. Dude, being a 40-year-old virgin?
Your life's pretty much over at that point.
That's a very underrated movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I wish Steve Carell had more iconic things. Like he's
done some
hilarious, but I feel like he has The Office, 40-year-old virgin,
Like Evan
Bruce
Almighty.
Evan Almighty.
He's in both. He's in Dinner for Schmucks.
Okay.
That's a good one. What else is he in?
He's definitely in some other stuff. It's just like I feel like he's
He's in a
mainly
movie
just
with
known
Ryan
for-
Gosling. It's kind of funny.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
It's like a love movie kind of thing.
Steve.
Emma Stone's in it. I think you'd like it, John.
I love anything with Emma Stone.
There you go.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh, that's what it is. Not Love Actually.
Welcome to Marwin. Get Smart. Despicable Me. Oh,
he's Gru.
Yeah.
Get Smart.
Evan Almighty, Bruce Almighty, Anchorman. Oh, he's an
Oh,
Anchorman.
yeah, he's an Anchorman.
The
Damn,
Big Short.
He's kind of forgettable
I mean, he's kind of
in
a
his,
side.
in his movie roles.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he's usually a side character.
he is usually a side character, but he's great though. Even when he is. Oh, Dan in Real Life.
I don't think I've seen that.
Date Night.
Oh, that one. Tina Fey.
I just feel like I don't know with him. It's hard to. He's in some serious movies like Vice and The Big Short, but it's like I've seen them and it's just like it's hard to see him in a serious role
Yeah.
because I want him to just be this goofy weirdo. You know.
Yeah, I feel that. Same with like Jim Carrey. Now that he's all serious Jim Carrey, it's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, I still like him.
I mean,
but
no, I do too.
yeah, I think a lot of people only liked him because he was so funny, and now that he's not,
sad.
it's sad that he's not funny.
No,
anymore.
it's sad that that's why people don't like him anymore because he's
Oh.
not funny anymore.
Yeah, I feel like building your career off being fat would suck, because then if you want
Jonah
to,
Hill.
yeah, people think he looks weird now because
Yeah,
he's not
people are
fat.
like mad that he's not fat anymore, and he's like, "I'm healthy now. Why are you mad at me?"
Yeah. Also, like Kevin and Stanley from The Office.
So many fat jokes towards them.
Well,
Wouldn't
yeah,
that hurt your feelings? And like in real life, like you're fat.
yeah, you know that. Obviously,
And Phyllis.
they are your friends, and they're not trying to hurt your feelings. But if it's in the script, it's based on
Yeah, and they
truth.
Yeah, they wrote that because of you're fat.
yeah.
Unless they wrote that, like, make fun of me for being fat,
Yeah.
like,
And I was thinking, yeah, especially for Phyllis, I feel like, I mean, nobody that's fat likes getting fat shamed, but I feel like for women, they probably take it harder than men do.
Yeah.
And they make so many fat jokes about Phyllis.
I know.
Like that's got to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, they probably just had to sit down with everyone and say, look, we all have our insecurities for different things. Everything is fair game.
Yeah.
Because, like, they make fun of Steve Carell's nose. They make fun
Yeah.
of, like, John Krasinski for being, like, skinny and tall. Which,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We literally, last night, my family and I watched the episode where Michael fell in the koi pond. So he makes this list of things that you can't be teased about.
Oh, yeah.
And so Dwight says, like, his nose, and then everybody makes fun of his nose and all this stuff.
Meredith says sex with a terrorist.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess what I was going back to what I was saying, like Kevin and Stanley, they're very overweight.
Yeah.
And like, let's say after season 2, they wanted to make a health change and they're like, I need to become a healthier person or otherwise I'm going to die. They kind of can't do that because their character is based on them being fat.
Yeah, unless
they incorporate them losing weight into the script.
Yeah, I'm sure if they really wanted to, they would probably just incorporate it, but maybe they just didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would suck, though. They're just like, no, stay fat. You need to stay fat. Eat more food.
I bet they've done that.
Probably.
There's definitely actors that have put on like 50 pounds for a role or something. Or lose a bunch of weight.
Well, yeah, like in Parks and Rec, Chris Pratt lost a ton of weight. You could tell when I think it was when he did Guardians of the Galaxy, he just got super ripped. Yeah. There's just like one season where he was kind of chubby, and he comes back and he's just like ripped.
Yeah. I haven't watched Parks and Rec, but
dude,
I should.
It's good.
Okay. With Thanksgiving coming up, I got a question for you.
Oh.
So, you know how there's certain things from your childhood or just your life that we've talked about this before, but you remember them even though they had no relevance to anything.
Yeah.
Like they weren't an important thing, but you just remember them for no reason. One thing that I vividly remember, I was at this kid's house in like probably freshman year of high school. I'm sort of friends with him, but like not that good of friends with him. Like we don't text or anything.
Okay.
But my parents are good friends with his parents.
Oh.
So my parents went over there and I went over there because like I know him, you know, like I know him enough to hang out.
This was freshman year in high school?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So like I'd hang out with him for a day, but we're not going to like hang out all the time,
right.
You know? Like if he's on Xbox and I'm on Xbox, I wouldn't invite him to my party.
Okay.
He's that type of
yeah,
friend.
I got you.
And we were there, and we were in his bonus room playing NCAA football, like one of the old NCAA games. And he says to me, yo, I have this thing where the more I eat, the hungrier I get.
What?
And I vividly remember where I was sitting when he said that to me. I don't know why, but and then I asked him, like, what do you mean? Wouldn't you get less hungry? Like, if you're hungry, then you start eating. Wouldn't you get less hungry?
Sounds like a disorder.
And then he was like, well, sort of, but he's like, he told me next time you eat, like if you're really hungry and you start to eat, the first couple minutes, as you're like shoving food in your face, you actually get more hungry. Like obviously you'll get to a point where you're full, but at the beginning, you get more hungry than when you weren't eating anything.
That is why America is fat.
No, but he's in pretty good shape. Like he's not a fat kid, but I've noticed. So that stuck with me. And the last couple months, like every once in a while in my life, I'll just think about that moment for some reason. And recently I've been eating and I've noticed it kind of. Like,
wow.
So it's not super extreme, but like, let's say I didn't eat lunch. So I skipped breakfast, or I ate breakfast. I skipped lunch because I'm really busy. Then at dinner, I'm just starving. The first like half of my plate, I'll just inhale it. And then I'll actually be like craving more and want to eat even faster and just eat more. So then you'll do it and you get hungrier and then you just reach this incline and then it just stops. And then you're like, all right, now I'm full.
Actually, that kind of happened to me. But mine had some motivation behind it yesterday. One, I'm trying to eat as much food as possible to gain my weight back that I've lost. Two, so my mom made sausage and broccoli and pasta for dinner. And
that sounds like a good dinner.
It was a great dinner. I had a lot to begin with. Like my first initial plate was large. And then I ate it all pretty fast and I was still kind of hungry. And I walk back and I see there's still like 2 sausages left and like a bunch of broccoli and a bunch of pasta. And I was like, Mom, are you going to have any more? And she's like, no, I'm done. And I'm like, well, I don't want this to go to waste.
Yeah.
So I ate all of it. So I
And
basically
you
had
don't
like
really
2 dinners.
leftovers, right?
No, I mean, it was just like not enough. Like I was going to eat probably one sausage or like probably both sausages and like a little bit of the broccoli.
Okay.
But then I was like, we're just going to toss off like a little bit of broccoli and some
So
pasta.
you might as well just eat it all.
So might as well just eat it all.
Yeah.
And I was hungry when I got that plate and I sat down and immediately was just not hungry. But I still force fed myself and I finished.
So that sounds like the opposite of what I said.
Well, no, like I had that first initial thing and I was craving food, but then when I got the food, it had gone away by the time I
Yes.
sat down.
Exactly. That's it. It's like,
And that's what happens on Thanksgiving to me. Like I get one big plate and I'm still hungry, get my second plate and I'm like,
yeah. And it's weird. Like for me, if I eat a plate and then I'm like really hungry still, if I immediately get more food and keep eating,
yeah.
I'll still be getting hungrier. But if after that first plate, I take like a 7-minute intermission,
Yeah.
I won't be hungry at all anymore. It's like your brain hasn't quite caught up with the amount of food that you ate yet.
Yeah. And when I was like unable to eat food very quickly when I was dealing with my mouth, I guess I don't know if I was getting full or just tired of eating, but like I would eat way less food than I wanted to initially because I had to eat so slow.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing with weight loss. I know that they tell people
Just
like
eat slow.
just eat slower and you'll inevitably eat less.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Like I would eat a tiny bowl of mashed potatoes and be done. And normally like I could have eaten it probably in like 5 bites, but it took
Yeah.
me like 50 because I was eating such little food
Yeah.
and I didn't want more.
Yeah. I wonder if competitive eaters like the hot dog guys, Joey Chestnut, if he was to eat, how many hot dogs does he eat in that
Like
10
70.
minutes? Okay, so let's say 70 hot dogs. He eats that much in like 10 minutes or whatever. Do you think if he was to eat 70 in 30 minutes, like that might even be harder for him?
Probably.
Because the slower you eat, your body's going to get fuller faster.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know if it's different for them because they already stretched their stomachs out, so there's like still room.
Yeah.
They literally eat until there's no room, I think. We
Yeah,
just
I don't
eat until we feel full. I think they might feel full, but they just keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can have the willpower because when I'm like full, like I don't want anything.
Yeah, dude. When you're really full, there's very few things in the world that are harder than getting yourself to eat more when
yeah.
you're really, really full.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
the
like
worst
eating the
feeling.
same food.
Yeah.
And a hot dog is just sodium. Oh,
Dude, how much sodium do you think they eat that one day in those 10 minutes?
like
It's got to
fucking
be
jar.
so bad for your body.
oh god. Don't they just throw it up?
Yeah. It still can't be good for you, though.
No, yeah, no, probably. It absorbs somehow. What is float?
There's a bug?
No. There's a piece of fuzz
Oh.
floating.
I was going to ask you, do you think it's more unhealthy to eat like a shit ton of ice cream all at once and then not eat ice cream for the next 2 days?
Oh, like binge eating.
Or do you think it's worse to eat the same amount of ice cream but spread out over 2 days?
I think it's worse to eat one big ice cream. Well, I don't know.
But it's still the same amount of sugar. It's just over a different duration of time.
Yeah, but I know binge eating is bad, so I think binge eating can mess up your like metabolism or some shit.
Okay. Yeah, your body just gets
I could have
confused.
just made that up. I don't know.
I think that's true.
Sounds right.
Sounds right. Do you think you could eat a whole like tub, not a little pint, but like a whole
A
tub
big tub of ice
of
cream?
ice cream in one sitting?
What flavor? Any flavor?
What's your favorite flavor?
I mean, probably something chocolatey, like
Rocky Road or like
chocolate with some sort of brownies in there, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you think you could eat a whole tub?
But that's pretty heavy though with the brownies. I don't know. Yeah, I probably could.
If it was-
If I set my mind to it, I could. Yeah.
You feel really
If
terrible.
I really wanted, yeah, I would feel super bloated and be farting so much, my stomach would
You
hurt.
fart after ice cream?
Yeah.
I don't fart after
Oh,
ice
dude, I
cream.
get dairy farts and they're bad.
Dude, I fart. Not fart. I burp. Why the fuck did I say fart?
It's kind of the same thing.
I burp so much after eating apples.
What?
It is physically impossible for me to eat an apple and not burp like 12 times.
I've never noticed that before.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just my body or if it's like something in the apple, like if there's a lot of air bubbles or something.
Could be. There's some air in those apples. Maybe you're just inhaling a bunch of air while you eat them. You're like, and then eating it.
I think, hot take, but I think apples are the most underrated snack that exists.
I feel like they're rated. A lot of people eat apples for snacks.
Yeah, but people eat.
People eat at. They eat at.
People eat apples, but just because it's like, oh, I'll just eat an apple just because. But they're not appreciated enough.
I think they're pretty appreciated.
Dude, I don't think
feel
they
like it's
are.
the most commonly eaten fruit.
No, bananas. People eat more bananas than
Fuck
apples.
bananas. I
Bananas
don't
are
like bananas
so
at
good.
all. I'm also allergic to them, but they're not good.
See, you're allergic.
I
so
don't
that
like them
taints
anyways. I know, but I don't like them anyways.
If you weren't allergic, you would like them more.
No. I've never liked bananas. And then I found out I was allergic, and it's just another reason to not ever eat them again. Bananas are trash.
Well, what
unless you're
I'm
cramping.
saying is that I think people
Oranges, maybe?
It's kind of like
cuties. That's a good snack.
I hate those.
Dude.
I don't like cuties at all.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you? You're getting me shit
They're
for not
gross.
liking bananas, but you don't like cuties?
Dude, they're so average. And then you got to peel them, and it takes like 10 minutes, and then they get
Doesn't
stuck
take
under
10 minutes. I have to sneeze.
This is a very chaotic episode.
It doesn't take 10 minutes.
Okay, it takes a few minutes, and I have very
It takes you 10
I
minutes.
have
peel?
very short fingernails.
Yeah, that's your fault.
And so
You got to get it started. Sometimes you ever ask your
What, I'm
mom,
gonna
hey, Mom,
keep-
can you start this for me? The initial peel. I've done
you
that.
ask your mom to peel your oranges
When I
for
was
you
young,
when you're 21.
When I was young. Not when I'm 21. I can peel my own orange.
I guess my point is, what do you think is the most average food that like everybody kind of eats?
Toast.
Okay, toast.
Toast is so average.
I think apples are like toast, where you eat them because they're there and you know it's good for you and it's some fruit and you should eat some fruit. But I don't think enough people rave about how the goodness of apples, you know?
The fact that there's a saying for apples, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, means that people value apples.
But I don't think many
There's
people
no
live
toast
by that.
saying, a toast a day keeps my toes okay. I just made that up.
That was pretty good.
Toast for toes. Dude, this is random. My mom told me, I was asking her like what she craved when she was pregnant with me, and she said she craved toast.
Just buttered toast.
Buttered toast, like white bread, buttered toast.
Kind of lame.
I know.
Kind of
I was
a
like,
lame
that's the most
craving.
random. I don't even like toast. I would think that like my mom craved toast, so now like I'm a big toast guy. It's like,
I like toast with peanut butter. But
yeah,
just like,
I wouldn't say I like it. Well, I mean, I guess I like it, but it's just like so average.
yeah. Well, just regular toast with butter is so
average
boring.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. All I'm saying is I truly do eat an apple a day. I don't think most people do.
I don't know.
So maybe that's why you went to the hospital. See, you didn't keep the doctors
You're right,
away.
John. I got infected because I didn't have an apple after I got my surgery. I should have just tried to eat
You
apples.
could have eaten applesauce, and then you would have had your apple fix.
Applesauce. God,
You don't like applesauce?
No,
What?
not an infant.
Dude, there's nothing. I don't eat
I
it a lot,
I
but
drank apple juice. So there you go. I drank apple juice after I got my surgery.
No, apple juice is fake.
I
Doesn't
know
count.
it definitely is fake, but
Yeah.
it's really good.
It's good.
Better than OJ.
All right, Kyle. This has been a really crazy
It's been
episode.
a doozy.
You want to hop into the segments here?
Let's hop.
Okay, Kyle.
Slid way farther than I thought.
Who's your A of the week? Who did good? Who got a big old stamp on the top of their paper saying, you're great?
So I'm going to go A for effort here.
Okay.
There was a man who is in jail for murder. That's not why he gets an A. This man had kidney stones and his heart stopped working. And so he died basically in jail and they resuscitated him. And now he's trying to claim that because he died in jail, he should be released.
Whoa.
And part of it is he signed one of those forms that said, like, if I'm dying, don't resuscitate me. Like, you can sign those things. And they resuscitated him.
And he didn't want them to.
He didn't want him to. He said, if I'm, like, in pain, you can give me painkillers to, like, make me feel okay, but don't save me.
Damn.
I mean, I would do that. I don't know if I'd want to be saved if I was in jail.
Yeah.
But anyways, this guy's trying to claim that he should go free now because they saved him when he was, first of all, he died in jail. So, like,
He kind of did his
he
time.
was serving life. I mean, he served life, technically.
A life. He's
He
just got
served-
another life.
Yeah.
Did they specify
They did-
how many lives?
Probably not. Unless he killed two people, then he has two life sentences.
See, but I think generally when someone is serving life, they actually do give them a number, like a time frame. Like, I think if someone's serving life, that means that, like, I think if you were to go look at the fine print, it would say like
You must die.
280 years or something.
Oh, yeah.
So even if he did die, it still hasn't been 280 years.
But I've seen like 130 years plus life. So
Whoa.
it's like you're gonna have to live a long time.
Yeah, so maybe this guy lived his life and now has another 130 years to go, and then he'll be free.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I didn't read far enough, but this guy, obviously, I don't think he's gonna get out of jail. But that would be legendary if he did.
Except that he killed people.
He killed somebody.
But what happens in real life, like outside of prison, if someone gets resuscitated when they sign the paper that says don't resuscitate them? Can they sue?
Well, like if they're in a hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sue.
Not that, but like at that point, you probably wouldn't want to sue because you would rather be dead. You know?
Well, second life. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But you might be mad that they saved you and you didn't want to be saved.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't sign any of those papers.
I don't think you'd sign those when you go in for like a standard mouth procedure. I think it's more like an open heart thing or something.
Right. I don't know.
My dad has told me many times, he's made it very adamant that if he ever becomes a vegetable and is being like kept alive by machines, he has made it adamantly clear that he does not want to live like that.
I wouldn't either.
So I think I mentioned it before, but in college I did a paper on like physician assisted suicide, and I had to like debate it in
whether
front
it's
of the
like
class.
ethical or not.
Yeah, whether it's ethical. And my dad has always been for it, and I'm for it, and like under the right circumstances, and so I had to debate it. But it was,
Yeah, I agree.
that's a really like tough subject because it's a weird gray area, because it's like sometimes these people can't even talk or express things about what they
and you have
want.
to declare them like mentally stable, right, to be able to make that decision. Because if they're insane, they might say something that's insane.
Yeah.
Damn. Imagine that's your career.
I know.
Also, apparently, we were watching The Office, and like Pam gets help with like the breast consultant, like breast milk consultant. That's a career. Like you just help people breastfeed, which I didn't even know that. I figure it was, well, usually it's probably women that do that. I don't think a lot of dudes are doing that.
But there's like dudes that are like doctors that check for breast cancer.
Sure, yeah. But I think they're mostly women, I would think.
No, I just watched a show. What show was it? Just the other day.
I don't know. What show did you watch the other day, John? I don't know.
I thought, did you not watch it with me?
I don't know.
Oh, it's in the show called Fleabag on Amazon, which is a hilarious show. Very, very good. Yeah, she goes to this like to get her boobs checked for breast cancer, and the doctor is a guy, and she cracks some joke to him about how like, oh, you got a pretty cool job, like you get to look at tits, and he got really, really mad at her. He's like,
I mean, I would too.
He's like, I'm here to save people's lives.
Oh shit.
So
hey, maybe he saved her life.
Yeah. All right. Well, shout out to that guy.
Check your boobs, check your balls. That's a real thing.
It is. Check your balls. We are big advocates for ball checking.
Big ball checkers. I've checked my balls.
I would check your balls if I could, or if I knew how.
I have checked your balls.
Checked my balls?
Yeah.
When did you check my balls?
It was like when you were on the couch sleeping.
Like, oh. Okay. Dope. Okay.
A couple different times.
Cool. My A of the week is the University of Alaska, Anchorage.
Okay.
Because they accept peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as payment for parking tickets. So apparently they have this new system in order to help prevent like student hunger and to help like homeless people. You can either reduce your payment or even wipe it clear by donating X number of peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Okay, I have a problem with that. Well, I guess depending on how many you need to do, it might end up just costing the same amount as your ticket.
Exactly.
You might have to buy a bunch of loaves of bread.
That's what I was thinking.
But a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly can go a long way. A loaf of bread can make like, 10 sandwiches?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, the only thing that I was kind of confused by is like when you donate food to charities that's going to go to homeless people.
I don't think you can just donate a sandwich.
Yeah, because they don't know. Like you could have done shit to the sandwich.
Yeah.
Aren't there like.
Maybe you have to go in and make them. Like you bring your
you go to like a supervised
like
location,
a station or something, and they watch you.
Yeah,
that's hopefully what they do because you can't just like accept it from a college kid.
I mean,
and if you're going to like Alaska, Anchorage, you're a weird kid.
I mean, I don't know. There's people that grow up in Alaska.
Yeah, and they're all weird.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it depends
around.
on the level of homelessness. Like if you're really homeless, you're gonna take anything you can get, even if it might be drugged.
Also, if you're homeless in Alaska, that
Dude,
sucks.
It's fucking freezing all the time. Half the year, it's just dark all day.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that.
That would be really depressing.
Damn.
But what's interesting is that I actually think they have like specifications on like the size of the sandwich in order to qualify.
Oh, okay.
So, university officials say each person could use PB&J as payments for 2 citations issued within the past 45 days. Officials say 2 16-ounce or 454-gram jars offer a $10 credit. Oh, so maybe you just donate the jars.
Oh, that's so easy.
And 3 jars offer a $35 credit and 5 jars offer a $60 credit. Officials say an unopened, commercially produced nut butter, almond, cashew, peanut butter, or any flavor, jam, jelly, marmalade, or what is marmalade? I don't know.
I think it's like, I don't know.
Oh, so they don't even have to make the sandwiches.
That's good. Yeah, you just donate food. That's easy.
That's kind of a cool system, though.
Yeah, I like that. That's also way better than having college kids make sandwiches.
Yeah. So shout out to University of Alaska Anchorage. Why do they do that? They should say University of Anchorage, Alaska. That's
no.
That's
University
way
of
less.
Alaska Anchorage campus. University of UW Seattle, UW Bothell.
I know, but why couldn't it be like University of Bothell, Washington? Because it's like that's so much easier to understand.
Yeah, but it's the University of Washington in Bothell. It's not the University of Bothell. You see what I'm saying?
But it's the University of
Alaska
and then
in Anchorage.
And then of Anchorage, Alaska.
No, it's not the University. Oh my God.
I understand.
You get what I'm saying though?
I do.
You're just being argumentative?
No, I'm just saying it would be less confusing if it wasn't titled that.
I don't think so, because then it's a University of Anchorage, which is not what this is.
But the University of Alaska, they know what they fucking own. Why do they need to go around telling people? Why?
Because everyone's got to know. Now we know. We would have thought it was the Alaska University of Anchorage, probably. Yeah. That's the dumbest argument ever.
All right. Moving on, Kyle. Who failed this week? Okay. Who is your F of the week?
There's a lady trying to ban clapping.
Yeah, dude, that was one of mine.
Oh, God.
Fuck that, man.
She was some British chick on TV.
It was on Good Morning Britain.
Yeah. She's trying to claim that clapping is offensive to people, and it's like mean to people who have hearing aids and people with disabilities that like maybe clapping might harm them somehow.
Yeah, she said,
what are we supposed to do?
She said we should use jazz hands to be more inclusive of those with anxiety or sensitive to loud sounds.
Well, you know what? What about blind people? Blind people can't see this.
Yeah.
They hear clapping.
I mean, blind people can't see clapping either.
Yeah, but they can hear it make noise.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, yeah, that's just isolating any sort of excitement for the blind people.
Exactly.
And
a deaf person can see clapping and they know clapping is good and they can feel it.
Yeah. And if I'm a performer and I just had the performance of my life, I don't want to just look out and it's just fucking silent. How stupid would that be? You want people giving you a standing ovation.
Mm-hmm. And if you're at a hearing aid, or what? If you have a hearing aid, and you can turn it off.
Yeah. You just go deaf for a little bit and then put it back in.
Yeah. Just go dark mode for a little bit.
And if you have anxiety about loud sounds, like there's probably not that many of you.
Shouldn't be in a crowd.
Maybe just don't go to these events. It's like
watch them on TV.
I just think that like changing an entire cultural norm for the tiny few percentage of people that don't like loud noises is just too much. And
I feel like that lady probably has no issues with that. She probably doesn't have a hearing aid. She's probably trying to stand up for people who don't even want to be stood up for. Yeah. Everyone with hearing aids is like, no, we just shut them off. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And she's just trying to accommodate for everybody.
And guess what? What? She's white.
She is very white. Yeah.
And
British.
I haven't seen her, but she's white.
She's white. I have seen her. She's white.
Cool. Well, my F this week is A male cricket player wins Woman of the Year. But he had no gender transition whatsoever, just a self-identifying as a female and with using new pronouns.
So he's not a woman,
but he just says like I identify as a woman.
So he plays women's cricket?
I don't know about that, but I honestly think he did it like for the meme, kind of like just to get people mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, but let me see.
I just I get that, I'm not opposed to people identifying as whatever you want to identify as, but when it comes to sports,
it's literally unfair.
It's unfair.
It's biologically unfair.
And whether or not you like that it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Male athlete wins Woman Cricketer of the Year award. Maxine Blithen.
His name is probably Max.
A cricket player born as a man who now self-identifies as a woman has been named the 2019 Kent Woman Cricketer of the Year in the UK despite making no apparent moves to permanently transition into a woman. Literally looks like a man.
Nice.
Maxine Blyth was recognized, blah, blah, blah. She had produced 340 runs and a best of 51 not out.
She's just a slugger.
So, yeah, just insane at cricket.
That's awesome.
But Blythen's participation in the Kent women's cricket team has raised controversy since the player's debut because Blythen has not met the lower testosterone levels required for the British national cricket team.
Got to get that testy down.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that's so like fucking stupid. It's like hilarious and stupid at the same time. Like, dude, like look at this person. That's Maxine.
He's bald.
That's a wait. I don't know. Is that him?
I don't know. That's a bald guy with a beard.
I gotta look up Maxine.
Oh, that's just not what I expected.
Maxine Blithen. Okay, that's not Maxine, but I will show you Maxine.
All right.
The middle one is Maxine. So like,
right.
Very tall.
Okay.
I can see how this person has much more testosterone than the others.
Right.
Which just gives them an unfair advantage.
Uh-huh.
So
very defined arms.
Yeah. So I don't know. Not much else to say. I just think it's really stupid that's happening nowadays. So
2019, man.
All right, Kyle. Moving on to Could You Kill Me With?
Okay.
Could you kill me with a pool noodle?
I think, well, I couldn't beat you to death with it because, like, my option would be to choke you. But I don't even know how hard I could choke you. It's so thick that it's like.
Yeah, you can't, like, tie a knot or anything.
Right. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think you could either. I just wanted to see,
I don't think you can. Oh, all right. Well. Do you want what? Do you have something else?
Well, I was thinking really the only thing I was envisioning is like if you somehow pin me to the ground and then like
shoved in your mouth,
put it over my neck and like kind of sat on it, like with your knees or something.
Yeah.
And just like pin my neck to the ground, but I don't know if that would be enough force to choke me.
Yeah.
So.
Cause like I don't think I could knock you out with it. You'd probably just be like, "Ow!"
Like, dude,
what the hell
are you doing?
Yeah. Okay. All right, John. Have you ever heard the phrase "kill him with kindness"?
I have.
Do you think you could kill me with kindness?
If
it was so nice that I die.
If it was somebody else, I think I could. But with you, I think you would just be like, like if I'm really nice to some people, if I was overly nice to Shim, he would get to a point where he'd be like, dude, just stop. Like, what are you doing? But with you, I think you'd just be like, oh, thank you.
I just accept
like
all
you
your
would constantly just accept these compliments.
Oh.
Because Kyle's the type of person that, like, you could roast him a bunch and he just, I don't know how to describe what he does when you roast him, but
that's not kindness.
He'll try and, like, turn it into a compliment. He'll try and turn everything into a compliment. Even if that's not what you said, he'll be like, oh, thank you.
Very good at deflecting.
Yes, very good at deflecting. And so when you actually compliment him, he will accept it even more. So you would just be like, I'd be like,
accept.
dude, you're so freaking awesome and nice. Be like, it would just give you the biggest ego boost of all time.
All right. But maybe that could be dangerous. If my ego gets so high, I just somehow die. I don't know. I don't
I
think
mean, you
could
might
kill
have like way too much confidence and try and parkour off a be like, dude, I am athletic.
me. I can fly. You're right.
And then you try and jump between buildings and just miss the gap.
Yeah, potentially.
That's the only chance, but I'm going to go with no.
Okay. Well, no death today.
Our first double no's. All right. Well, our last segment here before we wrap it up is our word of the day.
What do you got?
Our word today is airy.
Airy?
A-E-R-I-E.
Airy.
Do you have any idea what airy means?
There's a little bit too much air.
Because there's like Aries, which is the people's like sign or whatever.
Something.
It's not quite that.
Okay.
It is
Aerospace. Aeroplane. Airplane.
You think okay?
Something with
it's
air.
It's like the Greek origin of airplane.
Correct.
Okay, not quite.
Oh.
Sort of though.
Okay.
In a way.
All right.
It's the nest of a bird on top of a cliff or a mountain.
All right. Flight.
So like, you know when you see birds that get kicked out of their nest in those like Planet Earth documentaries?
Yeah.
And the ones that hit the ground and die, they just die, and then the ones that survive are the ones that learn to fly.
Right. Survival of the fittest.
They're getting kicked out of their eyrie. It's the nest.
So it's just a bird nest?
Yeah, but it's on a cliff or a mountain.
So like vultures, I feel like live on cliffs. Some seagulls, maybe.
Yeah.
Some water birds. I was gonna say water fish.
Yeah, water birds.
Water birds.
So yeah, if you're ever like on a hike in the wilderness and you see vultures circling, what you could do,
follow them to their
eyrie, and then you have all like that's the power position because now you know they're home and you could threaten them.
I think a vulture could kill you though.
Yeah, especially if you get near its eggs, dude.
Ooh. Dude, birds are really scary.
Birds are violent.
Yeah, dude, they could claw your eyes out, and now what? You're at their mercy.
I feel like a lot of animals that are scary, like bears, if you play your cards right, you can probably get away from most scenarios involving a bear.
Yeah, dude, if a bird's coming after you and won't stop,
there's just nothing to do.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't. Where are you going to hide? It can get you anywhere.
Yeah,
unless you dig a hole and cover
yourself,
yourself, but then you suffocate.
It can just hover above you. Flight is really OP.
It is very yeah.
It's kind of not fair.
It's kind of like the greatest strength anything can have.
Yeah.
And talons.
Talents?
Chickens have large
Oh,
talons.
I thought you meant like talents. Like
that is their talent.
It is a talent.
Talons.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this was a really strange episode, but
you know,
what's new? Hey, if you guys are on one of the audio streaming platforms, and if you guys are just bored or you're on vacation or you just want to mix it up here and you want to go check out a video version because you want to just watch something with your family on the couch and you want to stream us on your TV.
Are we a family show?
Oh, we're definitely a family show. Yeah, you can watch it with your granny or anything. So be sure to check out the YouTube version where there's full video versions of every single episode. We also just launched a Best of Pim's Podcast YouTube channel.
Yes, we did.
Which is affiliated with us, but it's a little different because what we're doing is kind of posting all the highlights. So, for example, if there's a 15-minute story of Kyle's super cool Uber driver that changed his life,
it's going to be on there.
We'll throw it up on there. And so if you guys can watch that and decide if you want to watch the whole episode.
Mm-hmm. It's just another place to access our content.
Yeah. So anyways, Kyle, how many reviews are we at?
We are currently at 49. Still.
Which means you guys haven't
50th person.
You guys haven't been listening to us. We need one of you. Just one to go leave a review.
If you're that 50th person, let us know. Also, you can just write your name down and I don't know.
We'll do something.
We'll know your name.
We will do something to you.
Right. We might do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like literally,
that sounded a little weird.
When you leave a review, you get to put in your name, so you will always be known as the 50th one.
Yeah.
And that's something special.
Listen, we know some of your guys' names. Some of you that reach out to us, we know you.
Yeah.
You want to be known? You want to be known?
Leave a review.
Leave a review.
All right, Kyle. Where can they follow you?
You can follow me. I got an itch on my nose. On Instagram, at Kyle Stafford 36. You can also follow the podcast at Pim's Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, no, not Twitch. TikTok, one of those T's. Wow, what if we streamed on Twitch?
That would be fun. It sounds kind of confusing, but I'm sure I could figure it out.
That'd be fun, but no one would watch. But
we'd have like more one viewer, and that would be me on my laptop just watching our own stream.
All right.
So
yeah. Anyways,
cool. You can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to my personal YouTube channel called The Narwhal. There are new episodes of this podcast, Peak to Middle School, every single Monday and Thursday. We're available on every single platform. If you guys want to support us and support this show, be sure to check out patreon.com/PimsPodcast.
PIMSPODCAST.com.
Thank you. So on Patreon, you can pledge $5, $10, or $15 for 1 month or multiple months. And what's cool is like you're paying a little bit, but you actually get a bunch of content in return.
Oh, it's worth it.
So you get a personalized video shout out, access to our Discord, behind the scenes videos, or like a blooper video of deleted scenes. You get pictures of Kyle's feet.
What?
So,
you know, if you're
what more
ever
could
wondering
you
what they
ask
look
for?
like.
Yeah. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for listening. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Adios.